Hello and welcome, or welcome back to Yarn Tea and Books with Frogget Yarns. If you notice, I kind of changed it up a little bit. I'm still playing around with the name, but we do talk about yarn. I almost always have a cup of tea and we talk about books, so I felt like it was kind of appropriate. Welcome back to episode 8 of the podcast. I'm so happy that you're here and joining me again this week. I just wanted to show, I did put it on our socials. This is my new mug with this beautiful stockinette stitch heart. This is by Golden Earth Designs. So there's her card. There's her info. I was able to pick this up in a shop update that she had. They go really fast. And I did share it on our socials, and I had someone reach out to me and say, how can I get one of these mugs? And the best advice I can give you is sign up for her newsletter. I think she has a newsletter, or follow her on her socials. She is always really good about posting when the updates are going to be and the times. And I usually just set myself a little alarm for 5 minutes before the drop. That way I can be on her Etsy site and ready to go. So that's that. That's the new mug. So welcome back. It is currently Thursday, February 20th, when I'm recording, and this will go up Saturday, February 22nd. I'm back with a lot to talk about this week. First, I want to get out of the way. What I'm wearing is the Boxy sweater by Joji Locatelli. This is in a yak base by the Fiberists. Hold on. Okay, so this is from the Fiberists. This is their hopper fingering, and it is 60% merino, 20% yak, 20% silk. I bought this, actually I didn't even buy this. Mr. Frogget bought it for me. In 2018, we were vending for the first time at Shenandoah Valley Fiber Festival in Virginia. And I had taken a little walk around and seen this yarn, but I didn't get it because at the time it was very expensive. I don't know if it says. No, it doesn't say. Yeah, it was just very expensive at the time. So I came back with my little haul, and Mr. Frogget said, that's all you got? And I said, well, there was, this yarn that I really liked, but I would need 3 to 4 skeins. I ended up only needing 3. That's a whole skein left over. And so he asked about it, and I told him, and then when he went on his little walk around, he came back with it. So it was very sweet. I started this sweater in 2018. It literally took me 4 years to make this sweater. So I will never make it again. I mean, I love a good stockinette sweater where I can just kind of veg out, but this was just, I mean, it's just a lot of stitches. And I even decreased it by, I think, like 50 stitches, which made it even smaller than the smallest size in the pattern. Anyway, that's my boxy. That's what I'm wearing. I wanted to start the podcast off with an announcement. So I said we had 2 special announcements coming up. The first one I'll drop this week and talk a little bit about it. So back in December, I was nominated by our regional chapter of the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, so LLS. They nominated me for their campaign this year. It's called Visionaries of the Year, and it is a fundraising campaign. But they liked that I was deeply embedded in the fiber world, and how could I work that to get the message and the cause out to the people. So I got nominated, I accepted, and essentially what I'm doing is I'm raising money for LLS. It doesn't start until March 11th. So save the date, March 11th. We will be able to accept donations. It runs for 10 weeks. I have enlisted and asked a bunch of my other dyer friends to come on this journey with me, to be on my team, and they have graciously accepted. So I will share who they are in just a minute. I developed a colorway that we're going to call For a Cure, and it is all of the deep reds. So this is our merino fingering base, and this is it on our merino DK. So this is our fundraising color. We will have this online and in the trailer at our shows through that 10-week period. There are 2 shows that are after the fundraising time, so we can't have it at those shows, but for the shows that are within the period, we will have it. So what we've done is we formed a little fiber collective. So I've got Rising Tide Fiber Co. I've got at Haynes House Yarns. I've got Cesium Yarn, Terrapin Fiberworks, Marianated Yarns, and 29 Bridges Studio, and us. So we're all going to do a special color of some sort to sell, and part of the sales of all of those yarns, and that's up to each individual dyer. They will decide how much of each skein that they want to send to my campaign. All of this to say, we will be running this campaign. We're doing this because Brian, my husband, had cancer at 26. Our daughter, our firstborn, was 9 months old. And yeah, it was scary and traumatizing. We got very lucky. They were able to remove all of the cancer with surgeries and monitoring. He did not need any kind of treatment. So it hits home. And when she asked if I wanted to be a part of this, I was honored, first of all. I've never done anything like this. I've never run any kind of fundraising campaign or anything. So for me, my head immediately went to, okay, I've got to dye some yarn and, put out a special color. So there'll be more details coming, but I just wanted to announce that that is coming up in March. From March 11th to May 21st is the actual fundraising time. And that color will be with us at the shows, and it will be available online during those dates. So just kind of mark that down. There will also be a way that you can donate without having to buy the yarn. If you just want to donate, $5 or $10, every dollar counts. So we will appreciate anything that we get. So let's move on. FOs. I don't have any FOs, folks. But I did think that it might be a good idea to share with you some of the samples that we are going to have in the trailer this year. So we switched them out based on the bases that we're offering. We got rid of 3 bases. So, we brought in 4 new bases, and those samples are going to be in the truck this week. But I thought I would show some of the other samples that we have that we'll be having in the truck. So first, let's start with the Smock shawl. So here is my Smock shawl. This is a pattern by Stephen West. And it's this really big, long, kind of shallow, like crescent-y type shawl. So this uses 3 colors. Well, I used 3 colors. And this is our solstice fade. So we have Solstice is the lightest. Then we have Northern Lights is the middle. And then we have Winter's Night as the darkest. Now the original shawl, I made the original shawl a few years ago. So the original shawl, the reason it's called Smock It, because it has on the border, it has these stitches. They're called smocking stitches. So you're knitting this, I think it's ribbing, and then every certain number, you make this big wrap. It also has a picot bind off. Now I did that on the original. I hated doing those stitches when I made that first one. So on this one, I just did a simple, I started with a little bit of ribbing and then I just went to garter and just faded out my 3 colors. I did not do the smocking stitches. I did not do the picot bind off. I just couldn't be bothered. So that is the Smock shawl by Stephen West. It's one of the shawls that we have in the trailer. This one sells this 3 skein fade so well. People love to see it worked up. Something in my eye. So that's one. We also have, let me see, what's this called? The Moon Catcher hat. This is a pattern by Tristan Molina of Dragon Hoard Designs. And this one is made in our BFL Aran. Took 1 skein, not even a full skein. And this is the color Rose Gold. So that's just one of the hats that we have. This BFL Aran base is super plump, very next to skin. Good base. And then the last one that I'll show this week, I'll just do a couple each week, is the Alpenglow sweater. So this was Andrea, this is an Andrea Mowry pattern, and this was her Rhinebeck sweater, I don't know, a few years ago. I finished it the night before Rhinebeck at like almost midnight. I bound off the last cuff, didn't even block it, and wore it to Rhinebeck the next day. So this is the Alpenglow sweater. And this is made in our Merino Sport, which is an 80/20 superwash merino and nylon base. And the original pattern, so it has the suri up here in the color work. The original pattern also has you do that same suri on the cuff. I hate working with suri by itself. Even though it was doubled, it was not enjoyable. So I did it there. I did not do it in the cuff. So I used colors Raspberry Romantic. The little bit of suri that I used is Tornado. The main color, the blue, is Abyss. And then my multicolor is Sunrise. And there it is on the cuff. So that's the Alpenglow sweater. I did choose to do the little like blips the whole way through the body. And then, like I said, on the cuff, I did not do the suri. This should have been suri. I just did the whole section in the other color. I did not enjoy. I don't mind using the suri if it's held with something, but on its own, I did not enjoy it. So that's another one that we keep in the truck. People love to see that, and then we get to help them make their own combinations, or they buy that combination, which is fun. Yeah, so that's, in lieu of finished objects, there's some samples that we'll have on the truck this year. So let's move on to whips. So in my Froggy Under a Quilt bag, I have my Douglas Cardi. Last week I showed you I just had the hem and a little bit of the color done. This week I just started the 4th color, which is Pressed Petals. I mean, literally there's 1 row, but we have Mushroom Bisque as my hem. Then we have Mahogany. Then we have Fresco. And then the multi is Dunfermline Abbey. And I love the way it just kind of blends in. Yeah. And then, like I said, there's 1 row of pressed petals on there, so you can't even see. I just did 1 row. So that was mostly all that I worked on this week. The the other projects didn't see much love this week. It's been a busy, busy week. Dyeing club, and just trying to give my elbow a bit of a break between the dyeing and the knitting. It's just staying constantly flared up. So yeah, just trying to give that a bit of a break. So there wasn't a lot of knitting, which is why I thought I would share some of the samples just to show you other things that are made in our yarns. So with all of that, let's move on to shop news. And there's not much shop news. The March Lily Pad Club pre-orders are live now, and they will stay live through Friday, February 28th. After that, they're gone. We sold out of all of the charms that I had originally ordered. I was able to get in contact with Kelsey, and she hadn't sent my order yet, so she was able to make me a few more. I only got 5 more. So there are currently only 5 charms in the shop. Here's what they look like to go with our book. There's only 5 left. And when these 5 are gone, that is it. I cannot get any more because she is mailing those to me this week, if they're not already in the mail. So that's it. There may or may not be extras for me to put up in the shop on March the 1st. If they all sell during the pre-order window, then there won't be any extras for me to put up on the 1st. So that's it for that. And that's it for shop news. We're just continuing to fill in the trailer, get it, things finalized. We just have a bunch of little last minute things to do before we head to Nashville. So it's just been grinding away at those things, checking those things off of our list. So let's move on to book chat. But before we do, we need to take a trip to the bookstore. So come with me. Okay, so I took you along to the bookstore with me. I didn't show you everything that I got. The main thing I went for was Rebel Witch by Kristen Ciccarelli. That was a very highly anticipated release for me. I only have this much left. I'm currently on page 292, and there are, I don't want to spoil the ending, 455 pages. So I'm well over halfway. And it's so good. So good. This is my current physical read. I started this Tuesday evening. As soon as I was done with work, I sat down, I picked it up. That's also why there's not been a lot of knitting, because I'm just devouring this book. It's the last book. So it's the sequel to Heartless Hunter. And I did not know that there was only going to be 2 books. My friend Melissa read it. She's also a fan, and she texted me and she said, oh, I just finished and it's amazing. It's absolutely wonderful. You're going to love it. And mentioned how it was the last one. And I don't think I knew that. So it's a duology. It is YA, so it's very easy to read. It's very fast paced. I remember the first one being fast paced, and this one is no different. Things are happening. There's no downtime. You are on your toes. You know, what's going to happen next? So I'm excited to get back into this and finish this. Yeah, I'm excited. So because I've been focused on that, my Kindle read, which is Metal Slinger, has not gotten much love. I am only 32% in, but this is also very good. Even at 32%, I'm sucked in. The story is unfolding, and I'm excited to see what happens next after that. My current audiobook is still Children of Fallen Gods. I only have about 8 hours left on that one. And I'm primarily listening to that when I'm downstairs in the studio, but by myself. And because Mr. Froggett's been home and he's been helping me in the studio, I don't have my audiobook in when we're working together, because we're chatting and having discussions. So we just play some music in the background. When I'm finished with Rebel Witch, I had very, very, very baby little bit started. Literally 5 pages. A Language of Dragons by S.F. Williamson. So I'll pick this back up when I'm done with Rebel Witch. This is, as far as I know, just a 1-book standalone. But it sounds interesting. So, you went to the bookstore with me. What did I get? Other than Rebel Witch, I picked up the next 2 in my manga series that I'm reading. So books 7 and 8 of Freyrin. Picked those up. They don't always have them. So when they do have the next ones that I need, I'll grab 1 or 2. I also picked up a new series. So this is Feybound. And I have looked at this so many times. Every time I go to the bookstore, I pick it up. I read the back. It sounds interesting. And then I put it down. But then the second one came out, which is called Cursebound. And I said, okay, that's it. I'm getting it. So I got both of those. This is by Sarah El-Arifi. I know I butchered that. So I got those 2. And then, let's see. This one kind of caught my eye from the shelf. Sword Heart by T. Kingfisher. I've heard good things about this one, so I grabbed that. Then on the half off table, I grabbed The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon. This is a 4-book series. I have one of her other books, Priory of the Orange Tree, that I'm excited to get into, and this one sounded very interesting, so I grabbed that. I also grabbed Rhapsodic by Laura Thalassa. This is part of the Bargainer series. So there are 4 of these, and I've heard really good things about this one. And then the last thing that came in the mail, I the Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies and Map of the Other Worlds, that whole series. I like the series. I've not finished the first book. I got sidetracked and never finished it, but I order the UK copies because I don't like the US copies. I think the covers are not that pretty, but the UK covers are gorgeous. Look at these. So pretty. I don't know if no, the inside's not anything special, but I like the UK covers. So I have the whole set with just the UK covers. And that one came in the mail, ironically, on the day that I went to the bookstore. So Mr. Froggett was like, that's a lot of books. And then another one comes in the mail, but oh well, it's fine. He doesn't care. So that's it for book chat. Yeah, that's what I'm reading. That's what I bought at the bookstore. That's all I've got. What projects are you working on this week? Have you started anything new? Have you finished a project? You can share all of that over in the Discord. We have threads for current projects, for whips, for finished objects. Yeah, you can share all of those pictures over on the Discord for everyone to see. How about books? Have you started or finished any new books this past week? We also have threads for all of that, not just the club books. We also have thread for any other books that you're reading, series recommendations. There's always people in there recommending new series and, you know, hey, I just finished this one and this is really great. So yeah, let us know over there. Discord is always linked below. Where you can find our yarn is always linked below. I don't know if I even said that. My name's Tasha, Froggett Yarns, Mobile Yarn Truck. I think I didn't say that at the beginning. Oh well. Yeah, that's all I have for you this week. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you have all had an amazing week and have, you know, found something to bring you a little happiness. And yeah, I'm going to go edit this. I have a lot of yarn to twist and label and, you know, work to do. So I hope you all have a great week. Thank you again for joining me, and I'll see you back here next week, same time, same place. And until then, happy making. Bye.